Welcome back to the Us versus Them channel. I'm your host Vince, and we're going to break down the next fight for the upcoming fight that we have this weekend, UFC 321. We got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. Right now, the line has Nurmagomedov sitting at a big favorite at minus 650, and Bautista is sitting at a big underdog at plus 440. Before we get into the breakdown, if I can remind you guys to just hit the like button on the video, subscribe, all that bullshit, we appreciate that. So let's get into this video. First off, I'm just going to come out and just say it. This line just sucks, honestly. I think disrespecting Mario Bautista this much on this line is, it's a little bit carried away, and it doesn't really leave a lot of room for profit. But that's okay, because I still see a really good prop that I really like that we're going to get into. Obviously, every single fight starts up on their feet, so we got to break that down. I think when both these guys are fresh, and they're obviously starting on their feet, it's going to favor Bautista early on in the fight. I think early on in the fight, that's when Bautista is probably going to have the most success he's going to find. And I do think that his boxing is going to give Nurmagomedov some trouble early on. I think he's probably going to find his range earlier than Nurmagomedov, and I think he's going to be able to work into his range, into his boxing range, a little bit better and adapt to that range a little bit quicker than Nurmagomedov can get into his kickboxing range that we know he likes to find. But Bautista, he's going to really give problems in the boxing. But where obviously the problems from Nurmagomedov is going to come from is in his ability to grapple. I think as far as having success in the grappling, both these guys have good takedowns. They both have good takedown defense. But I do favor Nurmagomedov as far as the ability to get the fight to the ground. So when it comes to the grappling exchanges and shit like that, I do think early on Nurmagomedov might not be... He's going to be looking for takedowns, but even if he doesn't get them, he's going to be shooting double legs and, pushing Mario Bautista against the cage. And I do think he's going to be looking to do that early in the fight to at least slow Bautista down and start pumping his muscles up a little bit and just tire him out. The more he tires him out, the less effective that boxing is going to be. I think as this fight starts to get into the latter half of the fight, the last half of round 2 and round 3, that's where Nurmagomedov is going to start to find some success in the takedowns. I do think that he's going to be able to find that success eventually, just kind of wearing down Bautista. Bautista comes into fights in good shape. I fully expect him to be in good shape this weekend. But I think Nurmagomedov is going to come in a really, really good shape too. We kind of saw his cardio fail him in the Merab fight. That fight was super close, a lot closer than people kind of remember or give credit to. But that was a 3 rounds to 2 rounds fight, and the round 5 was the deciding round, and it was just the little bit of cardio that let Umar down against the cardio freak like Merab. So obviously he's coming into the fights in shape. So I think that as he stays on the wrestling pressure, he's going to be able to get the fight to the ground. Once he gets on top, I think that's where we're going to start to see him take a lot more risks. We saw in the presser where Dana, he just asked Dana straight up, like, hey, is this a title eliminator fight? And Dana just kind of gave him a typical, contender series response, like, dude, make yourself undeniable, and this will become a title eliminator fight. And you saw Umar's face kind of just light up. So I think when he finds himself in those dominant positions on top, we're going to see him take more risks than he probably has been used to taking, or that we're used to seeing him taking on top. Or, just somebody named Nurmagomedov, you know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to start looking for some ground and pound, soften him up, and then look to find a submission. So for my official prediction, I am leaning on, I'm going to go with Umar Nurmagomedov by submission, and that line's pretty sick, actually. That line's sitting at somewhere like plus 420 right now. So there's a lot of value in that one for a long shot parlay. But if you're feeling Bautista has one path to victory, and that's just to get this done by decision, kind of almost fluke his way to decision. And you got to remember, this fight's also in Abu Dhabi, so him winning by decision also is in itself kind of a long shot. But that prop is sitting at plus 700. If you're feeling frisky, that's something you can jump on too. That's all I got for you guys in this breakdown. Stop by for the next breakdown. We got Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Another opportunity to make money. I think this opportunity for Nurmagomedov by submission is sick. Next one for this next fight is also going to be sick too. So stop by for that one. And that's all I got for you guys. I'm the fuck out of here.